Guys, welcome to this 15-minute flexibility and mobility session. This is taken from the 28 days running Kickstarter program on the Relax Running membership. So if you would like to access not only 27 other days of training a lot like this, you can join up now clicking the link below. This session is designed to help you feel better as you run and help those muscles recover from a hard day out on the trails. Love to know how you go, love to know how you find it. Otherwise, enjoy. Alrighty, so get yourself in a nice, comfortable position on your mat or on your floor, wherever you are. We'll just start out with a nice, gentle hamstring stretch here. So just a little bit of natural curvature through your back is okay. If you can't quite reach your feet, just keep your hands on your knees or just gently move them down towards your feet on your shins. It's a good opportunity for us just to tap into some of that tension and soreness that might have built up over the last couple of days or weeks of training. So now, just starting with your left leg, you're going to keep your right leg stretched out. As you can see, you're going to bring your left foot over your right quad and just squeeze that left knee in towards your chest. You should feel this through the outside of your left hip. If you need a little bit more, you can put your right elbow on the other side of your left leg and just bring in a gentle little twist. It's just going to extend the amount of stretch that you guys should feel through the outside of that left hip. And switch it up, same again on the right leg, bringing that right leg in towards your chest. If you do feel like you'd like to add a little bit more to this stretch, feel free to bring your elbow out to the outside of that right leg and spinning around to the right. Alright, this one might be a little bit more of an intense stretch. Don't worry if you don't have a great deal of quadricep flexibility, but you're going to bring your left foot up under or just next to your left bum cheek and just lean back onto that left foot. If you've got the flexibility there and the range of motion, it changes day to day. Feel free to do what I'm doing here and just lay right back. Otherwise, stay up on your elbows, even up on your hands. The main thing is we don't want to put too much pressure through our quad here. We simply want to feel a nice stretch. And when you've had enough there, you can slowly bring it back up and we'll switch the legs around. Feel free to shake that leg out a little bit if you need it. Otherwise, bringing your right foot back next to or slightly tucked under your right bum cheek there. And same deal, if you've got the flexibility, feel free to extend that range of motion by laying down a little further. Otherwise, if you prefer, just stay up on your elbows or your hands. We'll hold this pose for another 15 or 20 seconds. Slowly coming back up, straightening out that right leg nice and slowly. If you need to shake it out a little bit, feel free to do that. This one's called seated pigeon. So with your left leg up on top of your right knee, sort of between your knee and the middle of your quad. If you've got that flexibility, you should feel a bit more of an extended stretch here up through your hips. As runners, one of the main problems or main areas of tension is through our hips, so it's nice to be able to spend a little bit of time, at least once a week, just focusing on offering a little bit more of an extension and some mobility through that hip. And switching it up, right leg, same position on your left knee. You might notice that there's quite a difference between the flexibility on each side. That's very normal. A lot of people have a bit more of a natural tendency to have a bigger range of movement or motion on one side than the other. But with constant practice and some consistency with a mobility routine, you're going to start to notice a real improvement in the areas of your body that feel as though they're not so good on the mobility front. Alrighty. So spin around to the side of your mat here, and as you can see, you can choose the width that you want to open up your legs. Depending on your range of motion is going to depend on how far out they go. This is one I find a little difficult. So I have mine probably 30 centimeters wider than my shoulders, and you're just coming down and trying to get a little bit of a grip of something. If you want to put your hands on the grass in front of you, that's fine. If you want to reach for your feet, that's fine. And just take that right arm across to your left foot, just leaning down slowly. We're not forcing any of this, it's just a opportunity to gradually loosen up that tension through the hamstring there. You might also feel this through the upper left hand side of your back. And bringing it across to the right side now. The beauty of including a mobility routine like this into your weekly workouts is it's just a really good feeling when you go out and run and not everything is tight. So to be able to go out and actually feel as though you've got a little bit of movement through your strides, a really good feeling. So I'm going to get you to jump up onto your knees now and bring your left foot out. As you can see here, this is a nice stretch for your right quadricep. If you need a little bit more through here, you should feel that through the top or the front of your groin, but if you need a little bit more, as you can see I'm doing, bring your right foot up into your hand and use that as a bit of a lever. You can pull that foot towards you if you need, if you want a little bit more motion, a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more of a stretch I should say. Otherwise just hold it or even leave it on the floor if you just don't have quite that range of motion just at this stage. And we'll switch it up. So we're not holding these stretches for a great deal of time. It's just a little bit of an opportunity for us to hit a few different muscles, to get our heads around what this mobility session looks like. And it's a really nice start point for us as we're trying to build it into our routine. We don't have to go out and just do an hour of stretching. We can just do 15 minutes on a consistent basis to start seeing some really solid improvements. So once again, if you need a little bit more stretch before you finish up here, you can pull that left foot a little bit closer towards your back or your bum. Now this one here, as you can see, I'm up on my knees and my toes are pretty much my support panel. So if you zoom in closely, you can see that my toes aren't crunched under, they're flexed out. And you're going to feel this a lot through your plantar fascia and through your toes. It's quite an intense stretch if you're not used to it. So just adjust how much of your body weight you're putting onto your heels if it's a little bit too much. And feel free to sit up, but this is a great way just to target that tension which often builds up at the base of our feet. If you want to incorporate a few head rolls or shoulder rolls or something in here so we can hit that area while we're there, feel free to do that. And then move into the classic yoga pose of downward dog. This is a great one just to target your calves. You can pedal your left leg out and then your right leg to bring a little bit of flexibility through those calves, a little bit of a stretch through those calves. Bring your chest in towards your quads. Feel that up through your shoulders as well, all the way down through your calves, even in your hammies. And bring that left leg up as high and as straight as you can. And you're going to twist that over to your right. This should feel like a nice big stretch all down that left hand side of your body. You should feel that through your hips. Bring your left foot back up, back to the ground into downward dog, and we'll switch the sides. Right foot up, nice and straight, or as straight as you can, as high as you can. And then bring that over to your left. Once again, you should feel that through your right side of your body. And back down into downward dog. Come into a push-up pose and bring your chest down to the ground. We're going to just lift our chest up off the ground. In yoga, they call this one upward dog. So you can push quite a significant amount through your arms and even lift your chest, your stomach, and your hips, the top of your quads off the ground. There's a nice stretch there. Otherwise, just bring your chest off the ground. Got a couple of little visitors here for a minute. Once they leave you alone, we'll get back into it. And down onto your back. Bend both knees and then bring both knees over to your right hand side. Once again, targeting our hips. If you want to look the opposite way to where your knees are going, this is going to add a little bit more of a stretch. It might just be relaxing. If your hands aren't comfortable out by your side, you can put them up over your head, holding opposite elbows. And across to the other side. Man, you guys are going to feel so good after this session. Really encourage you, even though sometimes a session like this, it doesn't have the physical effects in terms of the sweat and everything that a hard run does, but there's no arguing that the benefits are incredibly important to your running. And bring your left knee up towards your chest. Feel free to include a couple of little circles there just to open up that hip joint. Clockwise and anti-clockwise. If you want to bring it up towards your shoulder, you can. The beauty of a routine like this is different people have different needs. So if there's something that we're doing that you can slightly modify to, better suit you, feel free to include that. And opposite side, bring your right knee up to your chest. We'll do the same thing. Clockwise, anti-clockwise, and bringing it up towards your shoulder for a bit more of a stretch. Doing so well, guys. We're almost done. We'll finish with one of my favourite couple of stretches. Just sitting up as tall as you can, putting your heels together, bringing it in, and if you want to use your elbows to push down on the inside of your knees to get a bit more of a stretch through your groin, feel free to do that. Otherwise, bring in a couple of head spins, clockwise, anti-clockwise. Nod your head yes and shake it no if you like. Love to know how you guys find this session as well, so make sure you let us know if there's anything that you'd like to see included here. Let us know how it is that you feel after including these sessions into your training program a little bit more consistently. And crossing your legs if you possibly can. A couple more head spins just to finish it up. Clockwise and anti-clockwise. It's such a nice way to hit some of that tension through your neck and through your shoulders. A lot of the time we're running, carrying weight and tension through there without even realising it. So that's why I try and put so much focus on these little exercises in the upper body as well, because it just feels good. for when you run. If you want to include just a couple of little spins, go around to your left there. Feel that through the left side of your body, through your hip, through your abs, opening up your chest and switching it around to the right. Guys, great stuff.